Hi everybody, welcome to the Film Strip. Today we're talking about a movie that's a comedy, kind of, and a romance, kind of. It's Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Eternal Sunshine is a 2004 film directed by Michel Gondry, who has a sort of reputation for weirder, more experimental films. He was also responsible for Science of Sleep and Be Kind, Rewind. And it was written by Charlie Kaufman, who also has a reputation for these kinds of films. His other screenplays include Adaptation and Being John Malkovich, so sort of weird, experimental, outside the really indie films and works. Those elements are definitely present in the movie. Once you see it, you will understand. It's very colorful, very well put together, but it is fragmented and there's a lot of impressions made on the viewer instead of straightforward storytelling. Part of the movie is figuring out what happens when and in what order, so as a Doctor Who fan, I love it. As I was saying in the discussions last week, in the late 90s and early 2000s, it was really finally settling in how much access to older media that viewers had. We had cassettes and VHSs and beta tapes since the 80s, but now it's been 20 years since you basically have access to anything that's existed on film, and now we're moving towards digital. So the landscape is really opening up and movies are starting to look at themselves and become very meta in the way that they approach storytelling and what the expectations of the viewer are. This is a movie that really breaks down and examines itself as a romantic comedy as it's going through the movie and playing with the viewer expectations of what a romantic comedy is and what lessons it teaches. One of the themes that's really present this week is this idea of disruption, as it is with a lot of other movies that we've watched so far. And here we can actually look at formal disruption. By formal disruption, I mean a bit more technical disruption to the medium itself, in this case, film. A formal disruption of literature might be James Joyce. Starting a paragraph in the middle of a sentence disrupts the format of literature. So we can look at how Eternal Sunshine disrupts film itself, and we can also look at how the narrative is disruptive and the characters are disruptive to each other. I'm going to stop using the word disruptive because I don't want to be a Tech Valley bro. But nevertheless, it's important to look at the way that this film is doing things differently and ask ourselves, why is it doing things differently? What is it showing us by doing these things differently? We can also discuss the ending of this film, as that's a very popular topic, especially concerning its ambiguity. So we can ask ourselves, is this movie romantic or cynical? Does it believe in soulmates? Or are these people destined to torment each other forever? This movie also really touches on authenticity and structure. So there's one storyline where everything that is happening very naturally, and another storyline where one of the characters is trying to create the thing that already happened naturally. And it's interesting to look at how the characters react to this and what the movie is sort of trying to comment on by having this character come in and recreate these moments. Why does one moment feel more authentic and the other feel more staged, even though we're watching everything be staged because it's a movie? So what about the movie makes it feel more authentic or not? There's obviously an issue of consent in this movie, and that's definitely important to talk about too. What's interesting about this movie is that past selves of the characters to consent to something that maybe their current selves don't consent to. So it's not someone else taking away their agency, but they still feel like their agency being taken away. And whether it's okay for anyone to get this procedure if they might in the future regret it. Basically wraps us up for this week. Join me on Wednesday night to have a discussion about Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. This will be our last one in this particular course. I'm thinking about maybe doing a more extended romantic comedy survey, or just focusing specifically on teen movies because I really enjoyed that. So if you have particular preferences, definitely leave that in the comments. I'm always open to hearing your feedback in the comments, in the discussion, or on these videos. Some videos might be showing up pretty soon. Remember to like and subscribe because this is YouTube. And I left a link to the syllabus and my Venmo if you want to send me some money to support the show. So regardless of everything else, I will see you at 8:30 Eastern here on YouTube live for a discussion and Q&A, and I will talk to you guys later.